May back with another video. Thank you for the support. 64 subscribers and climbing. We're gonna hit 10K by the end of the year. Mark my words. But today I'm gonna be going over how to beat every active UFC champion. Okay, starting off with Alejandro Pantoja. I think the way to beat Alejandro Pantoja, his toughest fight was Steve Erceg. What is Steve Erceg's skills? He is a really good grappler with solid striking. I think to beat Pantoja, you need someone who can neutralize his grappling, not get taken down and held in like the backpack position or not get choked out like Kyle Sakura did. You need someone like that who also has the power to threaten Pantoja on the feet. Pantoja has a granite chin. You need someone to I don't want to say compare this to Pantoja, but Pantoja's chin is like prime Tony Ferguson's chin. You need like a Justin Gaethje style striker where he can land bombs that deter Pantoja from fighting like himself on the feet, because Pantoja delivers really good pressure along with mixing in the grappling. If you have someone who can neutralize the grappling who's also super powerful, I think that's what would deter Pantoja and what would make him get beat. Because Steve Erceg, obviously great grappler, good fighter, he doesn't really have the striking power or the striking pedigree to outstrike a guy like Pantoja. He was super close to winning that fight, don't get me wrong, but I also think part of that was because he was ranked so low and a lot of people, probably including Pantoja himself, thought he was just going to run through that fight. But I don't know. I think someone similar to that style who has more power could definitely pose Pantoja some troubles and beat him. I'm not sure who that is. There's not a lot of people at flyweight who have knockout power. I mean, I guess you could say Manel Cap. Do I think Manel Cap would beat Pantoja? But someone with that type of style who has power or double eye pokes along with a solid grappling pedigree, I think that's the best way. Next, bantamweight division. To beat Merab, this is tough. Because the thing is, I don't know if anyone besides Umar could beat him by decision. And I don't even know if Umar could. Umar just lost that fight. Granted, he came in on a broken arm. Didn't look his best. But I feel like you need an O'Malley, a guy who could finish him and pose a knockout threat to beat him. That's why I'm not opposed to seeing the O'Malley rematch when O'Malley's not injured. Because I don't know who can beat this guy by decision, bro. His cardio is so good. He makes everyone gas out by round 3. Umar, I think, the Corey fight was 5 rounds. Didn't look like he gassed out at all. He looked good in every round, 50-45 or 49-46 Corey. I can't remember. But against Merab, with that pace and pressure, he's going at 110% for 5 rounds. Almost everyone on the planet is going to gas out. It's crazy. I think you need someone who can just put his lights out or submit him. I think that's the way. You need someone with super slick, Charles Oliveira grappling, who can, when Merab takes a stupid shot, like he does 50 times a fight, someone who can, latch onto a guillotine. Or you need someone who can knock him out, like a Sean O'Malley type guy. But the problem with Sean O'Malley is his takedown defense isn't good enough, or so I don't think it's good enough. He got taken down by Jan and Merab, even though he was injured in the Merab fight, So it's you don't really... This is a really tough one to say who would who could beat this guy, because there's not a lot of people at bantamweight who have power along with wrestling. Umar's powerful, but he's not powerful to knock out Merab. Merab has a really good chin, even though he got rocked by Cejudo. That's why I was thinking that O'Malley would knock him out. I picked O'Malley, but I feel like Merab's chin is very underrated. Moving on to featherweight, Ilia Topuria. Honestly, I think Ilia Topuria, obviously not, I wouldn't call it fraud check, but I think he's going to get beat at lightweight. I think the way to beat Ilia Topuria is you need a long, rangy striker who can kickbox, Muay Thai fight really well, and also can defend takedowns. Because I just think Topuria, we've seen he's susceptible to taking head kicks. We saw against Jai Herbert at 155, his one fight in the UFC at 155. I think he got rocked with that head kick, almost finished. I think that's the way you need to beat him. You need to stay on the outside. You can't box with Ilia Topuria. He's arguably the best boxer in the UFC right now. I don't think you can box with the guy. I think what you need to do is you have to stay at range, and land body kicks and set up the head kick. Honestly, I think Makhachev would fight similarly to how he did against Volkanovski in the second fight, where he was pressuring with body kicks and leg kicks, and then switches to the head kick and knocks him out. I think Makhachev would beat Topuria. I would be very confident in picking Islam because I think Islam is his kryptonite. I think just that style of fighter. Obviously, it's easy to say Islam's anyone's kryptonite because he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the UFC. But I think a guy with a worse wrestling background than Islam could beat Topuria at 155 too. I just think you need someone who's taller than him, rangier him, and who fights with their height. And Islam's 5'11", Topuria is what, 5'7", 5'8". He'll fight at range. He'll kickbox him. Topuria is not going to shoot a takedown on Islam. Islam just can't get pressured, you know? Like, in the first Volk fight, which, like, Islam got pressured. Islam got knocked down. Islam was getting most of his takedown stuff. That's what was hard. I think against Topuria, he's kind of figured out how to beat the short, not stocky, but you know what I'm saying, short, wall-built featherweight who, like, is hard to take down, you know? I think he's figured out that style. Like, besides power, I feel like Topuria and Volkanovski's well-roundedness is very similar. So I feel like those fights would go similarly. But now Islam Makhachev's kind of figured out how to beat that style. So I think someone at 155 with long, rangy striking and a good defensive grappling pedigree would beat Topuria. That's my prediction. I don't think anyone at featherweight has the skills to beat him. Maybe Movsar could fluke something if he can survive 5 rounds, but I don't see that. Moving on to the lightweight division, Islam Makhachev. Who could beat Islam Makhachev? I think to beat Islam Makhachev, this is really hard. I think the person who has the best shot is a guy like Arman Tsarukyan, who is a really skilled striker. Like, I'd say he's on par with Poirier and Gaethje in striking. Don't at me. I'm probably going to get hate for that. I think if he was more powerful, it would be better because he could impose his will and like make Islam less confident in shooting takedowns. But the thing about Arman Tsarukyan is he's a great grappler too. We saw his scrambles with Mateusz Gamrot. Crazy fight. That was a while back, but crazy scrambles. We've seen this guy knock out Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush doesn't have the best chin, but we saw him beat Charles Oliveira. I think Arman Tsarukyan, that type of style where it's like, I think you need someone who's shorter than him, like 5'9", 5'8", who's like really like built like a fire hydrant, someone who's hard to take down, you know, because like center of gravity wise, the shorter guys are much harder to take down for a taller guy like Islam. It's like, I played football in high school. It's like you got to get low to tackle people like that or to wrestle people like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think you need someone who's short, powerful, and like can defend the takedown. I just described Ilia Topuria, but you know what I'm saying? I think though that's the type of guy who would beat Islam because I think Islam does get hit. He does get hit. We saw in the Poirier fight. He does get hit a good amount. We saw that like his wrestling is great, but it's not Khabib. Like, he can't impose his will on you. Poirier was stuffing takedowns. Poirier was defending pretty well, I would say. I get that Poirier's experience, like, he's fought Dagestani wrestling before, so he kind of knew what to expect, and, like, he probably prepared really well because it was his last title shot. But, you know, I just think, I don't know, I think a shorter guy with a lot of power and good defensive grappling pedigree would be Islam. Moving on, Belal Muhammad. I think for Belal Muhammad, just give me someone who can stuff the takedown and he's screwed. Like, Belal, the thing about Belal is he doesn't have the Merab style where he can just, like, go. Like, he doesn't fight like Merab where he can just go. Even though they have similar skill set, I think Belal's striking is more technical and better. I think to beat Belal, you need someone who's, like, an expert-level striker. We've seen him he's gotten knocked out before by Luque. Granted, long time ago, he's on a huge win streak. I think you need someone. I don't think you can beat Belal by decision. Like, I think it's very challenging. I think a guy who's bigger. Belal's pretty small for welterweight, honestly. Like, if you look at him compared to some of the other guys, like, I thought JDM was small for welterweight, but JDM looked pretty, like, big next to Belal in their face-off. I think you need a guy who's a big welterweight, who's, like, well-balanced, you know? He doesn't need to be the greatest grappler in the world. He can get taken down a few times because I feel like Belal, like, people can get up against Belal, you know? He doesn't have, like, the most imposing, oh, you can't get up grappling. I guess for Leon Edwards he did, but that's Leon. Leon kind of sucks. And you need someone who's, like, a crisp striker who won't let themselves get pressured. Because Belal's thing on the feet is his pressure constantly with, like, the threat of the takedown is what wins him fights. So I think for Dricus, you just need a grappler. You just need a guy who has imposing wrestling. You don't need a guy who's, like, the greatest striker in the world. That's why I think Khamzat has such a good chance. We haven't seen Dricus be, like, offensively wrestled. We've seen him pull him out against, was that Derek Brunson? I think Whitaker tried to take him down once or twice. I think Whitaker did get him down, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But I think to beat Drakus, you need a guy who's going to take it to the ground and kind of gas him out a little bit. I think his gas tank has improved a lot. We saw in both Strickland fights, he didn't look like he got tired at all. He's powerful. He's good on the feet. He's very awkward, so it's hard for guys to beat him on the feet. I think you need a guy who takes him down and just gives him the threat of the takedown to like mitigate some of his weird striking and what he does on the feet. That's what I think for Drakus. Moving on to light heavyweight, Big Onk. Who can beat Big Onk? I think to beat Big Onk alive, you need someone who won't just like sit in the clinch. You need someone who's very active and like on the feet, because I think Pereira just like got shut down in that fight. I think Pereira could win the rematch, honestly. I think Pereira will make good adjustments, but like he got shut down. You need someone who won't get shy from grappling. I think Pereira is not as experienced in the grappling. He's only been doing it for a few years now. That's why he got like kind of gun shy. But I think you need a guy who's very experienced and well versed in grappling, not like offensively but defensively, so they don't get gun shy when Magomed Ankalaev shoots for a takedown or initiates a clinch. I think you need a guy who has experience but is also a world-class striker. If Pereira had like 10 or 15% better grappling, like I guess you can't really measure, you know what I'm saying though, I think he would whoop Ankalaev. I just think his confidence got shot and he got super gun shy because he was just waiting for the takedown. He was reacting to everything Ankalaev was doing rather than trying to get his own offense going, which lost him the fight. Yes, he lost that fight. That was not a robbery. Don't cry about it. Okay. Next, to beat Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall. No. But you need like a once-in-a-generation fighter to beat this guy, bro. Like, as much as I don't like the guy, I got to admit, he's pretty insane. You need a guy who won't get taken down. I think the best way to beat Jon Jones, be the same height or taller than him, don't get taken down, and make it a technical, like, boxing, like, keep it in boxing range. Because Jon Jones has great kickboxing, good head kicks, good leg kicks, oblique kicks. He's not, I think his boxing is his worst thing. And I think Tom Aspinall is a better boxer than Jon Jones. And I think he can keep it on the feet. That's why I think I would pick Aspinall. I think keep it in boxing range. Don't let him pick you apart. And like, you have to be a well-versed defensive grappling, because I think Cyril Gane on the feet would do well against Jones, but I just think his grappling was so inferior to Jones's that he just got submitted immediately. Let me know what you guys think of this video in the comments. Give me more video ideas. I'm really interested in what you guys have to say. Really appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys more. I'm probably going to upload more today. Peace out.